Hi, I'm Teelish, and you're watching Coffee and Clix. Today we welcome Patrick Frazer, the newly crowned 2023 HeroClix World Champion.
Frazer, like razor, I think. Yeah.
Frazer, it's Patrick Frazer. And his good friend Nate White, who also competed in the World Championship. He is from there. They are together. They're two members of the Chicago Clix Mafia, and they participated in the World Championship in Memphis, Tennessee this year, 2023. So congratulations to Patrick. Hello, Nate.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Hi.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the World Championship in general. You did a really good job. Obviously, you won, Patrick. Nate, you came in 19th, I think. I saw
Something like that.
I saw on HC Units. They have all the team. They have all the teams listed. Your team builds were very similar, weren't they?
Exactly the same.
Possibly 100%. Well, maybe maps were a little different.
Yeah, he had a different map and a different sideline piece. Yeah.
And
I think one of our cards was different on the tarots, but it was the same.
So you guys had the same team, basically. I know you guys practiced together. You also did well in the Illinois states leading up to Worlds.
I was thumping him with that team. He was playing X-Men Swap at the time.
I was playing a lot of stuff, and nothing was beating
with Sky Tyrant, and he couldn't beat it, so he joined it, and he played it better than I did. So, knocked me out of the finals. Excuse me, in Wisconsin, the state championships in Wisconsin, we were in the final match with the same fucking team, and he knocked me out.
He beat me with it earlier in the day.
I had beaten him with it earlier in the day, yeah, and he knew what I was going to do.
You want to win the last one.
Yeah.
So this...
And then, he got it at Worlds.
Yeah, he got it at Worlds, and so this is... I guess putting all the figures together in this team, this was definitely a formidable team. A lot of synergies there. Could you go over what is in the team build, and how does it work?
Sure. Yeah. Well, Spider-Man, Prime Spider-Man, is the bread and butter, right? Attached with the Necro Sword. He's going to do all the heavy lifting. There's a Carnage Silver Surfer there. There's starting with Kid Thanos, but can swap out to any of the other chases. Mephisto, Green Lantern with the ring. I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, Sicarian Iron Man with a cloak.
And so,
that's everybody.
How did that team how did you play it? How did it work? What did you find you were doing a lot with the team?
So I think Nate and I play it pretty similarly, I think. It's an aggressive team. It wants to go and hit and get in the lead and stay in the lead is the trick.
It can play a little defense, but not for very long.
It doesn't want to. It wants to fight.
And Iron Man is there to clear the way for Spider-Man, who tees up Carnage, who finishes everybody off.
Okay.
Iron Man is the utility piece. He's a great attacker, but much of the time he was serving a different purpose, like carrying Spider-Man into position or clearing out a wall or moving some terrain. He was the sort of toolbox that made the team function, I think. And Carnage is just very hard to kill, especially once he heals a couple times. And Spider-Man with the Necrosword kills everything in the game.
Yeah, with that Necrosword, he gets around shape change, super senses.
4 attacks with 4 damage at least. Yeah, it's too much for most pieces to handle.
And it's crazy that we're talking about Sicarian Iron Man as being a utility piece because he's just such a good attacker himself.
Right. Isn't that funny? Yeah. It was originally the team had 2 Carnage Surfers, and I got stuck too many times behind people with barrier, and Carnage Surfers can't hypersonic away a barrier, so I threw in Iron Man and it just clicked. It worked perfectly.
And it's the best pulse wave, or was the best pulse wave in the game.
And that pulse wave is good for clear. They perplex up their defense 3 times, and then you just pulse wave, and now you don't have any.
Get out of here.
Yeah. They outwitted Spider-Man's movement.
Not today.
Nope. Iron Man pulse waves. Now he's got his movement power back. So, yeah.
And so could you go through, maybe some of your highlights from your matches in the game, in the tournament?
Yeah, I'll start on this one. Let's see. in the Swiss rounds, I went 4-1. I lost to Robert Williams's Animal Team, and I was saying to Nate beforehand that I didn't love the Animal matchup, but we thought maybe we'd be fine. Turns out there was some holes against Animals. They're able to come in and poison you and hit all your guys and really do some damage. So I did struggle with the Animal Team in Swiss. Uh, I played Dan Powell with Scarlet Witch. I'd played against no Spider-Man, which I thought was going to be the most
We
common.
thought mirror matches were going to be
everywhere.
The norm. Yeah.
We had that practice. We had the mirror match down. We practiced it 100 times.
Yeah, I played my team against him with his team, so we had that. We knew every angle on that.
We saw it. You saw it 0 times too, right?
None.
Yeah, we saw it 0 times. Turns out Scarlet Witch was the popular piece out there.
I didn't see her either.
It's at about 4 times, I think.
I played 6 games and I saw 1 full point apocalypse, which is something I didn't want to see.
That's a problem.
It's a problem for my team.
Mission points.
I just saw myself leaving round 1 with 0 points and then getting the bye or something stupid and just being locked out of the cut, you know?
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw mission points and mission point. I didn't want to see mission points. I'm so angry still since nationals.
Mission points are what knocked him out in the top 4 at Nats.
Yeah.
Oh, at nationals with Lucas, right? Lucas played. Yeah.
So right. He knew mission points are a problem.
I knew they were a problem, and I was just hoping not to see them. But I had a plan, and my plan didn't work because Spider-Man couldn't hit, and it wasn't a great plan. It was a plan that involved hitting.
It's win in turn 3.
He was over by turn 3, so that was that. And then I saw some interesting sort of creative builds, but no mirror matches. Yeah.
So yeah, everything we prepared for wasn't there.
But your top 3 was a great run. Paris and then Scott and then Zane.
Yeah, a lot of world champions in there. Real good matchups. All 3 of them playing Scarlet Witch. So that seemed like that was the piece that I thought would be out there, but I don't think I thought it was going to be out there.
Was it like non-theme, like Angler Scarlet Witch, basically? Or
so Zane did not play it with Angler. He had played it with 2 Carnage Surf. No, not 2 Carnage Surfers. Just the one.
He had 2 Carnage Surfers and
a big Carnage.
Right. Oh, do you only have 1 Carnage Surfer? Maybe, okay.
I think he had 1 Carnage Surfer and 1 of the shifting focus.
And a Mags and Mad Jim, right?
Yeah. No Mad Jim. He did not have the Angler. The other 2 guys did run the
Harris and Scott both had the Angler, yeah.
But I was lucky enough to win map and took him on to Krakoa, where the Angler, the long map and a lot of printed blocking kind of takes the reach away from that Scarlet Witch.
So I thought Scott's play at the end was really nice when he threw the Necro Sword onto Black Skull when it looked like he was out of it, and turns out he still had a pretty potent weapon in his back pocket. So
I thought I had Scott Crampton put away in top 4, and he was able to just give his Black Skull the Necro Sword, and then he did some damage.
Flurry exploits, yeah.
I think I ended up. I was up 9 points. So I didn't see it coming. He was able to come back with that was a good play by Scott.
Yeah. Not that Scott's not that, it's like every once in a while Scott pulls a play.
Yeah, he does pretty well out this game, I think.
Basically your strategy, for both of your teams, right? Because, you guys are both experts at this team, was to, it's such a hyper aggressive team that you just like run everybody in kind of carefully. Obviously you're not being stupid about it, but you run everybody.
I was stupid about it. It's how I got knocked out.
You can be stupid about it.
I distinctly was stupid. We talked the night before. I knew what I was going to face in the round of 32. I knew what he wanted to do. He had prime Nimrod, and he wanted to kill with a pulse wave. He wanted to kill both my Green Lantern and my Mephisto and score 50 points. And then he figured I couldn't score 50 off of him. He would stay in the lead. I knew that. Pat and I talked about that the night before. Leave Green Lantern in your starting area, we both said to me. First turn of the game, I moved Green Lantern right up to the middle of the map. So that's why Pat has world championships and I don't. Yeah.
But I mean, the basic strategy of the team, though, is to get aggressive early. And you can take a few hits because of that Green Lantern's boost to the defense and because of your Masters of Evil kind of protecting you, right? So you just have some protection and you can take a few hits and then you just get up on points and stay up on points.
Yeah.
I feel like I often threw Sicarian out. If I didn't think I needed Sicarian's ability to pull off barrier or to pulse wave, I'd throw him up there. And
he's the bait piece, yeah.
Yeah, let him go at it. And then
very hard to kill.
And
it takes forever. They'll have to be all splayed out to try to kill him. They'll be spread out all around him, and then Spider-Man goes in to clean up.
If you want to keep your Sicarian, you give him Carnage instead. Spider-Man's the key. You want to keep him alive and let him eat. The other two guys.
Tendency to lose my Spider-Man when I was playing the team in States, I lost Spider-Man in 2/3 of games because I was a little more aggressive with him than I think I needed to be. At Worlds, I almost never lost him. I don't think I've at any games. Yeah.
When I lost him, I lost. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, what about the last match with you and Zane? How did that go?
That went great. I could tell he was a little nervous when we were going into it. I could feel him getting a little nervous onto it. So that kind of calmed me a little bit. So we went in. He won map, and he took me to a map that I wasn't too familiar with. It was the one from Friday Night Lights, the
Panther Fieldhouse.
Panther Fieldhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'd played on that map one other time before. But I kind of had an idea what he was going to do. He was playing Scarlet Witch, wanted to get out, protect his guys with the rune. But luckily, my guy Nate run into a similar situation.
We had discussed this very scenario.
We had this planned out a month ahead of time. In that scenario, you take phasing with Sicarian Iron Man, and you get right behind him carrying in Spider-Man and let Spider-Man do his flurry. Oh, free.
From the back row against guys that aren't protected in any way.
And I was able to get a Carnage and his Magneto, which put me in a pretty good position going into turn 3.
Yeah.
So that's a good move right there. So you take phasing with Sicarian Iron Man and then carry Spider-Man while he's double token so he can do his flurry.
Right. Correct.
He's got like 12 speed or something like that, right? So
he can go up to 13.
Yeah, Iron Man's halfway through the map at this point. You know he's going to be able to get anywhere. He's got to go.
And if somebody's got the straight line card, I forget which one it is, his sidestep allows him to position before he moves. You can always get where you want to be with him. It was a great play. It was cool. I'm glad Patrick got to use it, and in the finals, no less.
Yeah, I think it was the only time I got to use the move. But yeah, Nate came up with it, I think, right after Nats.
I ran up to Calder, Harris, Will Gordon, Jay Solomon, anybody who was around to tell him, he just did my move, and it worked really great. And I'm going to win the game. I have to stay really far away because I'm too excited. I got to stop making noise. I had to sit behind the video desk for a while because I was too excited. I didn't want you to look at me and think you got it locked up and do something dumb like
don't. I don't even know
where you can get
ruined there by then.
Yeah. I was so geeked. My team was played well and it won a world champ. It's almost like I won, Anthony. I
was winking at you in my head when I was like, "I'll take phasing." That's been Nate.
I heard him go, "You picked phasing with your Sicarian Iron Man?" And Patrick was like, "That's right, phasing."
Phasing.
Well, give me the stealth.
Phasing with Sicarian Iron Man. That's a terrible power for him.
Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Also, congratulations to Nate. You did well. You had a really strong year overall for HeroClix.
It's been going well. Yeah.
And you both played together in teams also. So you played in in the team championship, right? Was it you,
Yeah,
Nate,
and our guy
Ken?
Ken Small, who won the HeroClix Championship
Yeah,
earlier
Ken
this year.
Small, also a really great player who actually can play sealed.
Yeah,
And
probably the
Patrick and
best
I,
technical player in all of Chicago.
just terrible at sealed. I'm just so bad at it,
We
Anthony.
break his heart every year. He does very well.
He's so excited
He,
before the event. We're gonna win. You guys are playing great clicks, and I'm always good at sealed. He thinks we're gonna do it this year, and Patrick and I just like fall right over, like
yep, we break
it's
Ken's heart every year.
yeah.
So it's
Sorry, Ken.
so
Year.
what happened this year then? What happened this year? How'd it go?
Ken won every single one of his games.
And won all of
And
his
we
matches.
didn't.
I went 1 and 2. Pat went one
One
and
and
2.
two.
We
And
dropped.
we did the two at the same time.
Yeah, we both lost in the same rounds. I was playing Golden Glider, who I think is probably one of the best new attackers in the new meta.
Our teams were good.
Yeah.
We played good players.
I had a Poison Ivy that I will be, I mean, a Harley Quinn that I'll be playing on meta teams. I had plenty of good pieces. I'm just dumb at sealed. I just don't, I was telling Pat, if I didn't build the team and make a plan with it, I don't have a connection to it. And while I can be analytical and I can be the best gamer I can be, I lose something about the game of HeroClix for me if I didn't design the team. If it's just like, well, I got some trash and I can kind of move that trash pretty good. I like to have constructed something that will work beautifully together, and then it feels like I'm more connected. A SEAL team is like, oh, I lost with a SEAL team. Well, who cares? SEAL sucks.
Yeah.
So it's a catch-22 for me.
I'd love to win one. I'm just not. Yeah. I'm not pulling my own weight, and you're going to know that.
7-0 in sealed at Philadelphia and carried the whole team to third, fourth, to the 3-4 slot. So
yeah, I need somebody to carry me all the way.
One good day of sealed. 7 straight wins, Anthony.
7 straight. Who had 7 straight wins? Ken?
I did. In a sealed affiliate, Team Worlds, I pulled Possessor, and Possessor was the man. I was just out winning every Cosmic Character's defense and hitting them for 5. I
wasn't good though.
Games. I don't know if I've won a sealed game since.
I don't think so. You won one this year.
One, maybe one.
You won one this year.
Is it always you, Patrick, and Patrick, Nate, and Ken?
It has been.
One time Ken didn't go with us to Philly, so we had DJ Riggin was on the team.
Yeah. We let him down.
And he did well. We did not.
But he had more fun than Ken usually does. Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
That was a rough weekend all around. That was a crazy weekend. I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about some of those stories on this podcast.
Okay.
Professional.
It's up to you. It's up to you. You can share if you want. But
I had about a half a bottle of whiskey, and everything went a little sideways on Thursday night. So,
okay.
Right before teams. So the morning at teams, we were not our best selves. They had to hold up the whole event because I left my fucking badge in the car and had to get back in the line. And Kenny Pena, beautiful man that he is, would not start without me, and then laughed and yelled at me. So it was just a bad day all around. Yeah.
We made it though.
You guys made it. You guys made it. and so I mean, Worlds in Memphis was this year. They had Notorious for the team event. They had Notorious for the BRs. For those of you watching who aren't familiar with Notorious, it's the latest HeroClix set that just came out. It's a DC set based on DC villains. What do you think of that set?
I thought it was awesome that they were using that there. I think that was a really good, cool move by them. But I'm liking what I'm seeing in the set. There's some interesting things in there. There's that super rare Harley. I think it's going to get some play. I think it's going to have a huge thing for pulp. People interested in a pulp. There's really good rares in that set. And the goons are great too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, most of the super rares are good. Gotham City Underworld is clearly going to be a useful keyword. I think Assassins will probably see some play. I think Black Lanterns will see some play. Those chases are pretty tricky and cool. I think it's some sets come through and they don't offer much to the meta. This one feels like it can inject a lot of different things into the meta depending on where the meta goes.
Yeah, and so we really don't know yet. I mean, I was wondering about those Black Lanterns. Do you think they're going to be meta viable or?
Oh, absolutely.
People are definitely going to try them. They're going to get a lot of play out the gate, and I think so, right?
It seems like a no-brainer that you can heal past your starting click and take a piece like a Miss Marvel and turn her into a 110-point piece, or take a Carnage Surfer and immediately get him to top dial without even thinking of it. I don't know if you can do it with him, but
I don't think
anybody
you can do it with the Surfer, but
you got to have the keyword, right? But yeah,
you can get them up there other ways.
Superman, the Wonder Woman, the Batman. Start any of them on their low point line and get twice the points for value out of them almost instantly. I mean, it's a given that will be very playable, I think.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the dials themselves, it's tough. The game is getting to the point where everybody can do 6 damage twice, with a flurry. So,
and then another flurry for free.
Yeah, so there's so much damage out there that any dial is not long enough. I mean, even if you have reducers, you still can be taken out in the alpha. I don't know what is survivable at this point.
Rollouts are back, baby.
Rollouts are back, but I just played a game with Easton earlier today. Easton Brock and I played a practice game, and he will name dropping the Easton Brock, former world champion, and he made Shaggy's super senses and shape change useless to me. He always had ways around it, whether that be pulse wave or extra outwits or whatever. Rollouts plus unoutwit ability goes a long way towards survivability these days, I think. But if you can be out, what's the good? Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of outwit. So yeah, I think you're right. Like if you have rollouts, if somebody, you got to be running outwit because of the sheer amount of rollouts that there are in the game.
There's too many great powers that can be turned off and improve your odds so much these days. You've got to bring some outwit. If you don't have it, you're stuck with a piece that's bumping everybody's defense up by 2 and giving them all super senses. Then you can just outwit that.
You mentioned Golden Glider also as being one of the premier attackers. I'm looking at her right now.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's really good. I mean, at 60 points or at 30? Well, probably at 60.
I like her at 60 because a little bit of extra attack value, and the hypersonic starting instead of the charge. But either is fine depending on what you're trying to do. Giving her a sword makes her even better. And at 60 points, she's 1/5 of your build. So you have 2 other attackers and a lot of good support. I think she can definitely contribute to a meta team. I actually had a team which won't actually work, so I don't feel too bad sharing it here before I've even practiced it. But if you run 2 Spiderlings with 6s on their cards, and then you run Ant-Man to make her big, and then you run Cosmo to bark off shape change, you can guarantee a crit hit on a giant reach first shot with blades on the other guy's whole team. Doing potentially, if you have what's that sword on that does +1 to your base damage, doing minimum
Mercy.
5 damage to every figure.
No, might.
Mike?
Might, sort of might.
Oh, might, sort of might. That's it. Sort of might. So you're doing minimum 5 damage to everything that you hit within 2 squares of you. That's pretty good, I think. Right?
So why doesn't it work?
Wait, how does that work? So
the Spiderlings have 6s on their cards, so they're going to give you a crit hit when you make your attack.
Okay.
She has giant size from Ant-Man, so she's got giant reach and can see over blocking and over rows of people to hit people behind people. She ignores characters, so you can get her in a really nice position. And then she does blades. She gets an individual blades roll against each character that she hits, that she's guaranteed to hit, and they have no shape change or super senses. And
then you give her the Sword of Might, so that she has to hit.
Give her the Sword of Might, so she's doing at least 5 damage with the crit to everybody that she hits with knockback. So that wipes out entire teams sometimes.
Yeah, that's a really cool combo. That's very, very.
Problem is, what do you do after that? How do you follow it up? If the other guy,
what do you need to do after that?
If the other guy is not a clown and doesn't set up in one bulk spot, then you've only hit 2 pieces, and now you can't do that again. And all you've got is one attacker that's kind of mediocre, and nobody to really back her up because you put everything in.
What a move, though, right?
But it's such a cool shot.
It's a
I
cool
calculated
move,
that you could do up to 432 clicks of damage if you rolled sixes on your blades roll. So 432 clicks of damage on if you're using Pog or Pog and you roll sixes.
But then so you can't guarantee the might.
You can't guarantee the might. No, you're relying on dice, but you'd hit 48 characters for 9 damage each. Yeah.
That's really
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't think it'll actually work, but I want to see somebody try it.
Well, that was actually going to be one of my questions. Was what are you going to plan on building next? I mean, I want to go back to eventually talk about Worlds and your overall experience at Worlds, but I mean, just because we're segueing into it now, what do you think now post rotation? What are you going to be building? I mean. Or is there anything that you're looking at that, you say, hey, I might want to build around that?
I mean, I think Ms. Marvels and Scott Porters are going to be everywhere because you can just slap them on anything. No. But there's so many places you can go. Brute's good right now. Black Lantern's good right now. Any keyword you can, celebrity.
X-Men, Mystery Inc., Detective is amazing.
Avengers.
Yeah.
This guy's building every 10 minutes to send me.
I have at least 10 meta teams to test out, and I keep bugging everybody to play practice games against me because I'm ready to try a new team out. And all these guys are like, God, Nate, Worlds is not for another 11 and a half months. Can you just relax? There's not even another tournament for 3 months. We have no idea what the meta is going to look like.
Well, Nats is probably only like 9 months away, though, so.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the situation I get into, too, when I'm practicing is like, what do I practice? What I kind of get picky about I don't know what to practice because okay, these are the figures now, but then I don't know what's going to come out in the following set that is going to change the meta, and then I'm going to be like, okay, this is already not good anymore, and like I get hung up on that.
I learned I used to plan ahead and start playing without pieces that were still modern but wouldn't be eventually. Like if we were going to have states and then retirement before nationals, I would use states to prep for Nats and only play stuff that would still be available in Nats. I don't think that's the way to go. You don't know where the meta is going to go. Play the best stuff in the meta that you're in right now and then see where it's going and adjust accordingly. But if you try to predict it, I can't tell you how many tournaments Patrick and I have decided that we were going to see X 100 times, and we prepped for it in so many ways, and it never shows up. You can't.
The mirror match here, right?
Right. The mirror match here. We thought everybody would be playing Jakeem when Jakeem came out. Nobody played Jakeem for a couple months. We just thought if whatever you think people are going to do, they're probably not going to do that thing. So just play what you play.
We don't have our finger on the pulse. We talk about HeroClix every day. We have no idea what's happening.
Yeah. We chat about it. Sarah laughs at us because Sarah's Patrick's wife, and what are we even talking about? There's nothing to talk about. We're still talking about it. So
only 11 months away, man.
Yeah,
get ready.
You gotta get ready, man.
Gotta get ready now. Yeah.
Well, I think that. Oh, go ahead, Anthony. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I think everything is on the table right now. If you like a piece, you can build around it. You can make a good team with it. That's it. I mean, there is no meta yet. Once people start playing stuff and we see what's real and what isn't and what people like and what they don't, then we can start constraining it. But right now, there's no constraints whatsoever.
Well, that was another one of my questions, too, that I was going to talk about. I wanted to talk about was the balance of the meta. But I guess if there's no meta right now, then you can't really talk about the balance of the meta. But I mean, in terms of the way it was when you were in the event and Worlds, did you see a lot of diversity in the figures? Do you think that the meta was balanced before Notorious?
I think it's relative, right? Like compared to last Worlds, I think it was a much more diverse meta. There was obviously some repeating stuff, a lot of Scarlet Witches out there. There was 3 or 4 animal teams in the cut. You had Apocalypses in the cut. There was a Mission Point team in the cut. So out of those 32 teams, it did seem like it was pretty diverse. And I think it was in a good place, but it's kind of weird right now because you have long maps, short maps. there could be a better balance if they committed to only using one size of map, I think. But it was a good mix up.
I think that the multiple map lengths is the worst thing about meta right now. But yeah, I would say it's a pretty diverse meta. I saw some people running some stuff that, got to give a nod to Calder at Nats. He played nothing traditionally meta, or just a couple of support pieces maybe.
Iron Spider was probably the closest to the meta,
and I had a hell of a time figuring out his team. I mean, I got to play him twice, so it was nice before and after the cut. But he put something together that stood up to the dirtiest team that we could possibly build, and the most expensive team on the table. I mean, I don't think there's any question that the meta has become more expensive, and we played the most expensive stuff, and he played stuff that you could get for $120 total, and gave us everything. We gave us our money's worth. So I think the meta was pretty well balanced before the event. Yeah, before the retirement. The retirement of Disney Plus and Wonder Woman are two of the biggest changes to the meta in my time as a player. So I have no idea where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's a huge change. I mean, and the Calder was playing. I think I saw his team. Shout out to Calder also. I think I saw that team. That was a really good team. I think they had it on Dial H. Was it the chainsaw one where it deals like
Captain America, and everybody has a 12 attack because Iron Spider's given it.
Spider's there. You can't use your Necrosword because he hits leadership every time.
He's hitting his leaderships. It was a really cool team. He had a legacy Captain America who had garbage stats, but he had Sinister Syndicate, so now he's got good attack stats. His damage stats were always solid, and he's got a couple of Empower pieces, and this Captain America gets a free attack. So he's swinging twice with a 13 for 5 with this Captain America that I'm thinking, why the hell is he playing this piece of junk? It's just about, I do think that the surprise team, the more time you have to think about a team like that, the less it holds up. But bringing a team like that nobody knows anything about to an event and playing your ass off is always a really fun way to spend the day, I think. I don't know if that kind of team can ever win the whole thing. It feels like the team that wins is always the filth. When's the last time something that wasn't the filth won?
I can't think of it. I mean, Saul was playing something that was a little different last year, but it was Scarlet Witch and the big guys, right?
Yeah.
I will.
Isaac has won with filth.
Well, if Isaac plays it, everybody else is playing it. They see what Isaac's doing, and
right,
he's usually right.
Yeah.
One of the cool wins from Worlds actually was, and I just had an episode about this, was my interview with Mike Kornichuk. He won the Silver Age theme championship, and he won with a predominantly silver team. It was Ultra Chase Thanos from Black Panther Infinity, equipped with pretty much every gem, and then Q, and then Star Sapphire, and Sprite. And he won with that. So that was actually a pretty good team. But I mean, I do agree with you. Most of the teams that win are like, just in general, like filthy.
That's
still pretty filthy. I mean, it's Ultra Chase Thanos, right? Like
it's Ultra Chase Thanos. I mean, that's pretty filthy. And Q, the $300 piece.
Yeah, the $300 piece. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty filthy. I think the filth just wins. I mean, you can surprise people, but if they have any time, I mean, that was one of the my team didn't change between Nats and Worlds, and everybody knew.
Or states. I mean, you were able to practice a lot with the meta didn't change. From states to Nats to Worlds, which gave us a lot of practice. And everybody knew
what we were bringing, and they prepared for it, but they couldn't beat it, and that was what was cool about it. I think most teams can be beaten with prep time, and I don't think this team could. That was what I really liked about it. At best, you could give yourself a 45% chance or a 50% chance, but you never had an advantage against us.
What role did Green Lantern play in the inclusion of that team?
Leadership's the big thing. Leadership and
Barrier.
being able to get a ring for free. You know,
Yeah,
just
barrier.
putting up
You're
barrier,
going
taking
second,
down barrier.
blowing away other guys' barrier. The defense bump is always great. Yeah, he did a lot of
A
work.
move I had stolen from Adam Mater, who won Nats, was that he would make the spotlight, which is basically a worthless piece, but it had sidestep, fly away from it, KO it. You can now choose sidestep with your
Yeah, Alex used that, right? That was his. He showed you
or
that.
Alex Mater, yeah.
Oh, and then
Yeah.
Inquisitor can choose sidestep, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I stole that move from him.
It's a
Thanks,
really
buddy.
cool move. And part of my problem in my stupid game that I lost at the cut was that I wanted to pull that move off because it's fun. And it's another reason why I brought my Green Lantern up that was not supposed to leave the starting area.
And so, I mean, you were also talking about how you don't. I mean, Nate, you said that you're not really crazy about how right now in the meta you have to choose, but you are allowed to choose long maps or short maps. Like there's kind of like both in the meta, long and short maps.
It's such a given that the long map is like pouring molasses on the table. I mean, it's the short map makes for a fast game. It's almost impossible to hide from a good alpha on the short maps. But those long maps, the negative zone, I mean, that's just like, why don't we all just stand in nearly dry concrete and try to play HeroClix? I mean, it's so fucking boring. You can barely move in that place.
Well, so I mean, basically, I mean, when did that change happen? That happened in like about 2 years ago, right? So, or was it a year ago?
During Batman Team Up, I
when
think
Batman
was the
came
last
out,
long
less than a
map.
year. Yeah,
Yeah,
than a
Batman
year?
Team Up was the
February or
last.
something?
Spider-Man was the first.
That's when the change for maps came about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now that we've had some time to kind of test it out and test the waters, I mean, this question for both of you, I guess. I mean, what do you think comparatively? What's your opinion on like post rules change and like the smaller maps versus playing on the longer maps and before the rules change? Also, the change to initiative
at
rule
least
too.
at Worlds, if I was choosing map, I almost always, if not every time, chose a long map because you with Spider-Man there, you have the reach advantage. You can get across the map. You don't need TK. You don't need anything. You're going to get across the map. Same thing. Sicarian's going to get across the map and do a pulse wave. So they would be at a disadvantage if you don't build your team to be able to play on a long map. Somebody puts you on a long map, you're in trouble. And I think that's kind of where the meta is stuck right now until we get rid of long maps.
I mean, go ahead, Nate.
I was just going to say once the long maps are out of the meta, then certain teams which are hard to move around won't get chumped by the fast teams who will come in, kill something, then leave and spend the rest of the game just hiding from you in the corners of the map. There are certain teams you can't play because people will run that strategy on you. They'll kill a 20-point piece and they'll hide. Not that, it's legit. It's meta. When it comes to meta, everything like that is fair and people will do it. So you cannot win the event if you play built for short maps. No.
But now, yeah. So let's say now the long maps are gone, right? We only have short maps. Do you play? So I guess you play differently. But I mean, does every team have to be an alpha team, or like how? What's the strategy? What's the strategy against alpha teams? Because I find when I'm playing a small map, I mean, especially when I'm entering a constructed tournament, I'm always worried that I'm gonna get taken to a small map. And then I'm just going to be stuck there getting hit because their team has this amazing reach and can come across the map. And I'm like, well, I guess I can have barrier, but that's not going to really do much. There's characters with super strength. There's other ways around it. So like, what do you do? What are we going to do now once it's just all small maps?
Pat, you want to take this?
I guess we'll have to see what happens. Terrain shenanigans are going to be the big thing, but the rules have really switched around with that with TK, super strength, all that fun stuff. I think you have to be able to go across the map and get them, though. Your team needs to be able to go get those points when you lose the lead. So I think The alpha might not be as strong as it used to be, but I think you need to be able to get across the map and attack.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can build a team. I have a couple of team ideas right now that are designed to withstand an alpha. Nothing on the team is essential. If you kill one of my 6 pieces, the other 5 will do the same jobs. All of them have rollouts that you can't easily take away from them. All of them have dials that are more than 2 or 3 clicks long. You're going to have to do some work, even with your mega alpha, to score too many points off me. And then I will be able to come back and, take the points that you sent in for your alpha. Now that Sky Tyrant is gone and that stupid smash you and then go back and hide in the corner play is off of the table. I don't think
Or
any
Flash with Green Lantern.
I don't think any alphas can escape anymore. They can alpha you, but then they're next to you. And once they're next to you, you can do the things that you plan to do. So, yeah, I don't think you have to be able to alpha. But right now, alpha, I mean, I prefer an alpha team. It's more fun to play an alpha
I'll
team.
always have an alpha on my team.
And you're controlling. If you have an alpha team, if you got shit that can kill shit, then you have your fate in your own hands. And if you're playing a defensive team, you just got to hope that the other guy didn't figure out your defense yet. So I feel like your fate is in the other guy's hands. So I don't feel like you own your game as well if you're not playing an offensive team.
I mean, it makes sense what you're saying, because like technically that's where the game should be going. That you can survive an alpha and then come back. You don't have to necessarily get the first points in the game in order to win the game.
No.
Right? Like, you can allow your opponent to get some points, and then you're able to rebound and come back because you can take a hit. Your team can take a hit, and you have enough defense to just kind of move in there and mix things up. And that's the way the game should be, because it shouldn't be whoever gets the first KO wins the game.
No, that you don't want the map roll to matter that much, right? You don't want the initiative roll to be the most important role of a HeroClix game.
It used to be, right?
There have been many periods in time when it was.
It was the most important role.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what? I mean, I wanted to come back to this. Pat and Nate, what was your overall experience like at Memphis and at Worlds this year, 2020?
I love it in Memphis. I love they do it there. It's a good atmosphere. Everybody's there to play some Clix. You see all the people that you talk shit to on the internet all year. And it's a lot of fun. I love doing it in Memphis. I'm pretty sure they're going to do it there next year, and I think it's a good choice.
Yeah, I thought Memphis, I like the venue. I like that it's just us. I like that everywhere you turn, there's people that you've played against before and people that you're glad to see. I like that they can go late into the night there. One of the things that's really annoying when they do things at other cons is we have to be done by 5 and stuff like that. And so they end up running like what they did in Philadelphia, where they did 4 rounds to cut in a tournament with over 100 players. So there were
That's a 16.
Yeah, they cut to 16. So a lot of us were end 1 and we didn't make the cut. Patrick lost by 5 points, literally in his game.
3-1, lost by 5 points. But I got a Harley Quinn ID card out. So
yeah. But yeah, that's Memphis is, I think, great. They brought Notorious for us. They had a lot of supplies of the new stuff. If I was to complain at all, it would be the fact that they were so stingy with pricing. Like, how much do you pay for these little pieces of plastic that you have to give us the 3-year-old ones that aren't even modern anymore? Can't you give us the new toys? Like finishing 3rd or 4th in a 3-4 slot at Nats, I got 1 modern piece and some older LEs, and that was it. And Patrick, for this, he won a complete set of a set that's retiring, didn't you? Or that's retired.
it was legal for the day they gave it to me.
Yeah, it was legal on the day they gave it to you, and then it retired the next day. It was like, don't you guys own this stuff? Like, can't you guys give us a little more?
They gave me factory sets of Exo Swords as well.
Oh, okay.
So the pricing wasn't wasn't bad.
That's not why we play anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, Patrick, so you won, since you won, What was your pricing? You got a factory set of
Exa Swords, I think Empire.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, so the Exa Swords and the OP Exa
Got,
Swords, so both Exa Sword
got
sets,
both? Oh, okay. I didn't realize you
and
got
then a
both.
chase set of what had Mimic as the prime. I know because I dropped it immediately in
House
both.
of X?
Mimic?
And I think so, and then a prime chase set of House of X, and then I, for being honest, I haven't opened the others, but I think all of the buyable and winnables.
Yeah. Did you get all the tarot cards too? Did they give you all the tarot cards? I think.
I haven't opened it, but I think so.
And then do they? So are you able to design a figure? Is that part of your pricing?
I am, yeah. I know everybody was really worried coming into this, but yeah, I do get to make a figure.
Okay, and I know I'm not allowed to ask because you probably signed something that says you're not.
You
allowed
can
to,
ask, I just can't tell you.
you're not allowed to talk about it. But do you have something in mind? Do you have something in mind?
I do have something in mind.
Okay. Okay.
I've submitted a list. They got to tell me, so we'll see.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, I'm very excited for what happens with that, and I hope that comes to fruition, and excited to see what you come up with. So do you guys have any final words or anything else that you want to say? You know, Patrick, how does it feel to be world champion? And you know, just in general, final words for the episode.
It's pretty good. I'm happy about it. Not a lot of people in the real world know about it. You guys know about it, but then I go to work, nobody cares. Go to the grocery store, nobody cares. I'm a world champion, but it feels pretty good.
Okay. So thanks, Patrick. Thanks, Nate, for coming on the show. Thanks for joining me. Everybody at home, thanks for watching. If you enjoy content like this, I typically do a lot of interviews like this on my channel. I also do other HeroClix related content. So if you enjoy it, then please give this video a like and subscribe. And don't forget, wake up and smell the clicks.